Let's get to the Jersey Central Newsmaker Hotline. We talk every Tuesday at this time to our good friend Barry Blank from National Estate Jewelry Buyers in East Brunswick, our segment that we call What's It Worth? Welcome back, Barry, and good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, Barry. Thank you. And before we talk about today's topic, it never fails. We'll talk about something Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, something will make news that I have to wait a whole week to talk to you, and it happened last week, too. We were talking about printed bills and the value of printed bills. There was an auction that happened in Baltimore, Maryland last week, where a very rare bill that is called a Marcy note. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not, believe it or not.
It's a $1,000 bill, and it was sold for $1.9 million to a private buyer last week at an auction. Now,
wow.
This note apparently it was printed in 1891, and there's only two left in the world. The other one is on display at the Smithsonian, and the other one this guy just bought at an auction for over $1 million. Can you believe that?
Well, I usually keep one of those in my back pocket.
Oh, you got the other one. All right. Maybe you had evidence of the other one.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Imagine that, yeah.
I don't remember who it was, but I remember somebody in my distant past who had a $1,000 bill he carried in his wallet.
It's try to use that at Wawa for coffee this morning,
Yeah,
right? Watch what happens.
I don't think it would work, but I would love if somebody paid me with a $1,000 bill.
Exactly. How great would that be? All right. Our topic for today, Barry, when you think about a meteorologist as somebody that has special training when it comes to the field of weather. And I think about a dermatologist as somebody that can take care of our skin if we have sunburn or acne or whatever. And special training goes into this. And for your field of work, Barry, a gemologist is somebody that has extensive training and is an expert in their field, right?
That's 100% true. Some people get their experience by working in the field. Other people get their experience I was working in the antique business for my whole life because my parents started their business when I was a kid, a teenager. But a lot of people get their experience through life or going to school. So I did both.
So
I went to the gym. Go ahead.
So for you, it was kind of real-world experience and, of course, traditional kind of classroom learning, right?
Yeah, well, in 1978, I went to the Gemological Institute of America in New York City. And if you're sitting down, the course then cost me $1,600, which I thought was a bloody fortune.
Right.
Today I've been told that somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000.
Wow.
I don't truly understand it, but I would answer it. It's because they can charge that.
I guess so. And the school you went to, Barry, people I guess call it the GIA, just for short.
Right.
Is that thought of as is that the Harvard or the Princeton of institutes for your field of study? Is that among the best or the best?
I would say it's one of the best.
Okay.
There are many other schools. People don't even know that there are so many. But there's the Gemological Institute of Great Britain. There's one in Canada. A number of universities. I'm sure you can name a few also, but I can't think of them offhand. A number of universities actually offer jewelry and gemology classes.
Okay. And to become a certified gemologist, there's certain functions you have to be able to perform, right?
Well, what is the question people ask me all the time is, what is a gemologist?
Mm-hmm.
A gemologist, gem is the study of gems. Well, the IST or ology or whatever is to study. And I guess it's from Latin. I don't know what the Latin word would be, but I'm sure I could look it up or Google it. And what it is for the first part of the class that I took a million years ago, it was the diamond identification and grading. And one of the things that you have to learn is how to identify a diamond, and it's gotten much more difficult with the advent of synthetic diamonds. Now they make machines that are from $600 to $30,000 to get, and they have different capabilities, these machines, but they separate synthetic or man-made diamonds from natural diamonds. But you really got to know these things, and there's relatively no way to tell by looking at the stone. So you need a piece of equipment. But we were taught where did diamond come from, how are they mined, how are they fashioned, how are they cut, and then we're taught how to look at them. And at the time, they even had a pricing thing, but I quickly found their pricing thing was not right, and it was also unethical. So could you imagine if the Gemological Institute of America came out with a price list?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
anyway,
I couldn't imagine that. Yeah, but this class here and this special training that you had, Barry, there was maybe this is true. I guess you could verify it. They say that anybody that goes through these programs, particularly the ones that you experienced at GIA, there is 100. There is a passing grade of 100, and everything else is a fail. Is that correct?
That's true. Now on the colored stone part, which was a major part, where you learn how to identify and all these different colored stones. And when we think of colored stones in America, we think about emerald, ruby, and sapphire. We never consider all the other diamonds. Colors like peridot and garnet and all these many stones. There are stones called spessartite and amandite and so many different stones. You would have no idea how many stones we had to identify. And then not only did we have to identify them, but we had to separate the man-made or synthetic from the natural. And that's really difficult.
I'm sure. So for someone that has some difficulty in separating colors or color blindness, this is not a field you could perform in, right?
It would be exceedingly difficult. However, the color alone is not what you identify a diamond or a colored stone by. The color can vary the value, but it's what nature leaves behind or what man leaves behind in the formation process that we can use to determine natural versus synthetic. So a colorblind person could do this job.
Interesting. And for you, Barry, and for what you've been able to do, when you and I have these conversations, you're so knowledgeable in so many different fields, whether it's diamonds or coins or precious metals or everything that we talk about. Would you recommend that somebody try to be as versed in as many different things as possible, much like you are, to have a more successful career?
I would recommend it, but you really need to hone in on what you're most interested in and become really good in at least a couple of fields. You know that jack of all trades, master at none.
Yeah.
But you have to be the best in your field at a few things. I would be cautious of diversification. Learning about watches and learning about antiques. It takes years. So I would focus on what you're most interested in first, especially with the cost of the Gemological Institute of America, with the cost of their tests. I mean, it's like 20 years of experience concentrated into 6 months.
Yeah. And we talk about diamonds and precious stones all the time, but I could run a question by you about, a piece of artwork or a piece of sports memorabilia with a signature where we're looking into the authenticity of things. So there's a lot of fields that you are good at and have experience in and at least can comment on, which I think is very important.
Well, the reason I can do that is because of modern technology. In addition, I mean, when I grew up with the Encyclopedia Americana, you needed to look something up. You opened up this 20, 30, 40 volume set, and you looked up something. And we got world books, and we got yearbooks every year on it. Today, there's more information in 1 second, in a fraction of a second on Google or on the Internet than that whole entire set of books. That's now totally obsolete, of course, and has no value.
We have billions of encyclopedias at the touch of our fingers in our phones every single day, and more knowledge than anybody in the history of time put together is available for us every single day. It's just remarkable, right?
It is so true. It is so true. Do you know the two things that never end up in garbage dumps?
Is this like a joke? No, I don't know.
No, it's true. It's true, though. It's two magazines that never end up in garbage dumps.
What's that?
One is National Geographic.
Okay.
And the other is Playboy magazine.
Interesting.
They have no resale value, really, except maybe Volume 1, Number 1. But those things never end up in the landfills and recycling plants.
Two very different fields of study, if you will, there too. But of course, remember that Tuesdays, just like today, are free evaluation days at National Estate Jewelry Buyers. Of course, you're going to get professional treatment every time you walk through the door, and they will never ask you how much you want for an item simply because it is unethical to ask. They're on Route 18 in East Brunswick next to FedEx office. Call them 732-257-GOLD or visit toppricesforgold.com. And Barry, if somebody wants to talk to you about maybe a career in what you do, you'll talk to people, right?
I would love to talk to them. And matter of fact, one of the things that propelled me in my career, well, there were a number of people who I went to, and I really respected them. And when one person said to me, his name was Murray, he said, I was offered a position in St. Martin in the Caribbean. And he said, go for it. Why not? I mean, what do you have to lose? And I got to tell you, it's a great 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd love to share my opinion and my advice with anybody who's really interested in the field. It's an amazing field.
Oh, I bet it is, and every day has got to be so interesting too. So Barry, thank you so much for the time today. We'll talk again next Tuesday. All right.
Have a wonderful week.